darkness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
The countdown is on. We get ready for the end of season number 5. We're just a couple races from that, just about to the midway point in what is going to be the 2023 season. Welcome to Twin Ring Motegi, Japan, the land of the rising sun, the host tonight of round number 11 of this All-American ARCA series presented by Whiteriver LLC. This is a 1.5 something mile track, and the reason why I say 1.5 something is I'm not really sure who measured the track. Is it NASCAR or was it IndyCar? And the reason why I share that is because NASCAR measures their track sizes by the middle lane. IndyCar uses the white line. That's why I don't know. This could easily be a 1.549 mile track or a 1.52 mile track, as it says at the bottom there. Either way, we're at Twin Ring Motegi for this 200-ish mile race. 71 degrees, 83% humidity. We did have a lightning strike out in the area a little bit ago. That's why we were delayed on the race and the broadcast. Partly cloudy skies. That's, by the way, made up because there's no such thing yet on iRacing. Partly cloudy skies, 8-mile-an-hour winds as we get ready to go racing here at Twin Ring Motegi. Qualifying about to begin right now, so let's go down on track before we go over all the stuff that we're going to have in the race, because we do get the 5-minute warm-up here in session. Let's show some stuff here on the track. A very wide, flat version of Darlington, if you want to look at it like that, when it comes to the shape of this track. Very wide. A turn 1 and 2, very lengthy. Turn 3 and 4, very tight. And it produces some very interesting speeds. Now, the qualifying record for this track is a 37 flat-ish, if you will, by Finley Fitzsimmons. And as you can tell by Mike Cusby's lap just now, as we run for the pole award, by the way, presented by MH Design, pretty much everybody in the field is about to destroy the qualifying record with the car. As Heller goes to the pole with a 36.05. Goodpaster, 36.18. They still get a second lap, by the way, as we ride here with the 38 of Justin Ray. Now wide to back straightaway as Husby goes 36.11. Will we get to a 35? Alex Penn, 36.14. There's an 03. Jackson Van Pelt's been pretty sporty in practice. Bryson, 36.07. And everybody right now who is... Oh, Fitzsimmons, 36.02 with April. Good laps on their part. I was wondering what was missing on my screen. I'm like, why can't I see who's running fast? And that was on April's first lap, so let's jump to this. As Carrington, 36 flat. We're there. Somebody give me a 35. April not able to do it. 36.02. Couple cars left to qualify. This could be one. Let's go to Matthew Weeks here. Let's actually go on board. Let's ride with Matthew for this lap here. And let's throw the... Let's watch speeds here. .178 mile an hour down into 1 and 2, and this is obviously the faster corner. Very flat, if you will. A little bumpy right there. That's where the tunnel is. And you just let the car come sliding off turn 2, how wide it is. Down the back straightaway, you're going to hit 9,800 RPM here. Car's nearly screaming 185, and then you're on the brakes because this is the tighter portion of the egg, if you will. The smaller portion. He brings it off turn 4. First lap for Weeks, 36:03. Rolls back to the throttle. You almost have to put a, no pun intended, egg under the throttle. Weeks, purple. Slow now all the way down from 185 to 123 into the corner. That's stomping the brakes. Can he do it? Bam! 35.94. Weeks on the pole. Everybody's going to want me to do onboard cameras now with them. Great lap on his part. And qualifying will wrap up right now. So Matthew Weeks will win the pole award. Of course, presented by MH Design. So congratulations to him. We'll talk to him here in just a moment as the warm-up begins. Let's go over some things for the race. Let's start with the point standings as we enter the race tonight. Christopher Heller leads the points right now at 26 over Brandon Barkuski. Stephen Miles, Matthew Weeks, and Mike Husby are top 5 right now. Husby cut off his win last week. Cutlip, Abril, McCorkle, Whitley, Tooker, your top 10, of course, as people have unfortunately fallen out of the running in the league. They'll fall down the standings and stuff here, so you're going to see some changes as we go here into the rest of these last 4 races, I should say, before we get to the main part of the season. Team standings as of right now. 25-11 leading by 74 over Mountain Man Motorsports. CX2. Make sure I say it right before Casey yells at me again. He actually threatened me when he hit me with a cane earlier. Wasn't nice. They're 100 points back. iRacing 136, fueled up. Piston broke. Your top 6, and then you see the rest of the teams there in the team standings as of right now. That's basically done with the average, I believe it is, of the top, or I'm sorry, the total of the top 2 teams in each team. Rookie of the Year standings, Stephen Miles leading his team at Abril by 9. Mark Whitley's right there, 16 back. Zach Henry, Kyle Heath, Jackson Van Belt, who might be a strong one to watch here. Yeah, good luck with that, Aaron. The rest of the top 10. And then the manufactured points. Pontiac leads Toyota and Dodge by 13. Chevy with 13 also back, I should say. Porsche 37 back. Ford is 46 back. And BMW is still missing, I think. But and I don't know if Nissan is scoring points or not, but I know the 400's out there again tonight, I believe. So, I don't know. But that's what we got right now. That's who's being counted when it is all said and done. So, that is how we sit for tonight. Here's your schedule, by the way. Rest of the season. Thank you, Casey, for blacking out each date so far. Motegi tonight, and we got a Pocono Cinco de Mayo next week. Rockingham, and then Atlanta Motor Speedway on the 19th. The old Atlanta. That's why it says 2008 on there. So we got 4 different styles of tracks coming up to finish up the season with Motegi, and then Pocono, a triangle, and then Rockingham, a sort of D-shaped oval. And Atlanta Motor Speedway, of course, the quad oval, old school banking. So should be a lot of fun. Let me see if Weeks is in Discord. If not, I'll just continue to run my mouth a little bit. I do not see him. So Weeks is not here. Leave a message at the beep. we got about a minute or so before we get going here in the race. And again, a big shout out to MH Designs, Mike Husby Designs, for sponsoring the Pole Award. Appreciate what Mike does for the league, and of course what a lot of people do for this league. A lot of drivers, a lot of people work with Casey to put this together. As you see the road course at Twin Ring Motegi, if you watch the NAS 1 series I had created with the cup cars running around the road course, that was what you saw a couple weeks ago. Under the lights, by the way. But tonight it's the Oval, track that was built, hosted NASCAR back in 97 and 98. Mike Skinner, or I'm sorry, 98 it hosted the race. Mike Skinner won that race. It's also the race that Danica Patrick won her first and only IndyCar race at, was here at Twin Ring Motegi. And going to step away for a quick sec before we get the green flag. All right, back we are, Twin Ring Motegi. We'll let the grid roll across the top of the screen as we get ready for 130 laps of racing. Matthew Weeks, Casey Carrington there in the top row. Finley Fitzsimmons, Tim Averill there in row number 2. Van Pelt and Christopher Heller there in row 3. As cars roll off, we do have an extra set of tires, as you will see in the race information here. 130 laps, 200-ish miles of fuel, or miles in the race. And I say 200-ish because, as we discussed earlier, we don't really know how big this track is. Previous winners, Matthew Weeks, who won here last season. So he's starting right there on the pole. You'll see some paint schemes and stuff like that. So looking forward to seeing some of the throwbacks that we're going to see out here on the track. So 31 cars, well, 29, it looks like. Not even that, 28 have gridded. We have 3 that did not make the grid, so interesting there as we come to the green flag at Twin Ring Motegi. Race 11, green for the All-American ARCA Series, presented by Whiteriver LLC, as somebody spun the tires a little bit there. Cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums. They're there. And they are also at Twin Ring Motegi. Yeah, they're here too, at TrackCams22.com. Down into 3 and 4. You see Carrington kind of sliding up a little bit there. Missed turn 3 and 4, slides up. Averill's going to go by. as Goodpasture has jumped to the pit, so I'm not sure if he had an issue or not. But he's going to be coming out on track with Chris Travis and David Fite also did not make the grid. Down the back straightaway. That is Mike Husby, last week's winner from Talladega, looking inside of Alex Bryson. Christopher Heller there. There's Brandon Barkuski. And that 25 car, that 07 Lucky Charm car, that might be the guy to watch tonight. Fastest in practice. It looked pretty good in qualifying there for a little bit of Jackson Van Pelt. So we'll see if he can work through the track position game that we are going to see here this evening. Now, we got a new feature that you're going to see on the stream. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while and finally got the opportunity to do it this past week. And it's going to sit up in the top right corner of the screen right now. And that is the weather. And I did this because obviously I do reference it a lot as we got Finley Fitzsimmons going for the lead up here. But I reference the weather a lot when it comes to track temp and stuff. So you'll be in the see the top right corner now, the exact settings of this race. So this race is actually being on the date of November 19th of 2023. And it's 12 o'clock in Japan, 12:30. 71 degrees Fahrenheit, track temps at 80, and it's partly cloudy. So you'll be able to see all of that so you can see if a car changes or if the track temp changes and you see different things going on during the race. Kind of gets you all the information you need right there. Here comes Zach Rogers in that 4 car inside. Alex Penn right there with him. Heller kind of sliding back on the top side as I see Mama Heller's watching. Such a wide track to work with here. That white car you see on the inside there, that is, I believe, Dalton Wilson's who I saw there. Moving up a position. Oh, nope, sorry, it's Alex Bryson in the 15, that Nashville Rooftop Car Tour car. As he goes by, and Carrington continues to free fall. It's just stuck on that outside line. Weeks able to hold on to the lead right now by a 10th over Finley. As Alex Penn's going to go sliding by. Casey Carrington probably throwing some 4-letter bombs out there. Actually, he just asked in chat, can he have the bottom line yet? No, sir. Hello, Brent Leake. Appreciate you. Or, yeah, Brent. Hello. It's been a long week. It could, there's definitely some things going on that I can't really talk about right now. That's, yeah. We're here on a Friday night enjoying racing. How's that? So Carrington finally getting to the bottom, and before anybody throws out there, oh, it's a Steve Park throwback, I don't want him to yell at me. It actually, as I see the car, it is not a Steve Park throwback, so I don't know where he'd get that confusion from. It's actually Johnny Benson throwback. Back when the Bahari Racing days, Michael Waltrip left to race for the Wood Brothers, and they threw in Johnny Benson into that car. And that's what the throwback is there. Is Brandon Barkuski looking underneath of Alex Bryson. A battle for the 6th position here. You know, with the very flat surface here, not the easiest to pass on. So Barkuski makes the pass. Here's Zach Rogers now. Zach Rogers trying to make that pass, as I said. Finley has fallen back about a tenth or so since we last updated. Back 2/10 now. Tim Averill about a second back. Tyler Burden 1.8 seconds back. And the Porsche of number 30 of Alex Penn takes the position away from Bryson. Alex on Alex pass. I mentioned Jackson Van Pelt looking pretty good in practice. Well, unfortunately, he's not looked too good in this race. He's fallen back 7 positions to 12th. And he's got Stephen Miles there behind him looking to take position. Back to the front. Finley putting all types of pressure on Weeks. Sends it in there. Low side. Tries to get a little air on the nose. Of course, Finley was the last track record holder here until that lap there by Matthew Weeks. So I'm sure there's a little bit of anger there maybe, if he even paid attention to it. Now we do have one sub driver. Oh, by the way. In this race tonight, you might notice the 2-car tonight. Let's look back here in 21st. The Rusty Wallace throwback in the 2-car there is being driven by Davis Warren. So Davis has actually made some starts in the series, and that's actually a Dodge. And it's funny, he's got Darlington Raceway on the car, which is interesting about it, that Darlington, it's almost like a mockery, if you will. It is a Rusty Wallace throwback, but it's also a mockery of the old NASCAR games, because remember back in those games you could not put, they couldn't put beer sponsorships on there and stuff. So they ran like the name of the drivers. In this case, he put the name of the track on the car. Davis running in the 21st position. Yeah, the Animals. Great tune. So, me and Casey were talking a little bit before the race, as we were talking about a couple drivers in this race that ran at this track in another league that we broadcast. And the one thing in that race that came into play, there were some cautions, but track position with tires and stuff like that. So you're going about 35 to 40 on a tank here. You do the math with 40, you get 3 stops. There's the extra set of tires tonight. So you got to wonder, will there be somewhere that tire strategy comes into play? So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on as we go later into this race. Finley Fitzsimmons still having issues with the champ here, trying to get around him. Back here, though, at Zach Rogers, we've had a pretty good tussle going on here. Mike Husby, Zach Rogers, Barkuski, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Alex Bryson trying to be a part of that battle also. So 17 laps complete already. Appreciate the viewers watching tonight. Got 13 I saw just a minute ago. Race Fan 1973 always joining us on Friday night. Aaron Thomas bragging about his Daytona runs, watching, of course, as always, and whatever else he's got going on in life. Patty Heller, of course, mama for Christopher, running in the 10th position, watching here tonight. Appreciate all the viewers always coming back and watching. Who's your Ty? I think is he actually in the race? I thought I saw your name. Yeah, Tyler Whittemore in the race, running 27th right now. Carrington's starting to come back into this battle here, so you wonder if he finally able to get himself into a rhythm as Barkuski. I don't know if he got loose or something there. You see Bryson's going to slide her in, take the position. Now, I was starting to talk a little bit ago during the pre-race. Jeffrey actually started on pit road, race fan. That's why he's not having a good race right now. No, I didn't. I just didn't answer. That's why Jeffrey, he needs a yellow to get back up with the cars. As Rogers gets around Barkuski. Bryson to the inside. Oh, Husby, hold on. He saved that car. Great save by the winner of Talladega there. He had that thing in a four-wheel drift. And that's the good thing about a wide track. He had plenty of room to catch it. I say that, he came inches from the wall. Spun the tires off turn 4 here. That horsepower, look how loose he is. A D-die-do, and it's just lock it down. Good job on his part. That there is called a code brown. Watch again as we go down the back straightaway here. You got to remember, you're slowing down to about 115 to 120 mile an hour in this corner right here. And you get back to that throttle too hard. Oh, that's the previous lap, so. Yeah, the old hospital hop. That's never a good thing. So since that happened, we got a new leader. Finley Fitzsimmons has finally gone around the 11 for the lead. It happened about a lap ago. Let's go back to it. Finley gets to the inside in 3 and 4. Just carries the momentum off. You see Matthew getting a little loose. Flat guy is daydreaming. And the PayPal car goes to the lead now. We go back live. Barkuski starting to fall back a little bit there. You see Christopher Heller there with him. That's top 2 in points. Matter of fact, top 3 in points are right there. Barkuski, Heller, and Miles. Now, of course, we ran this race back in September of last year. And in that race, guess who finished 1-2? Yeah, that would be the 2 that are running 1 and 2 right now. Matthew Weeks led 96 laps. Finley Fitzsimmons led 17. Oh, in trouble, I believe. Caution is out. Yeah, Jackson Van Pelt. And the 30 of Alex Penn going to bring the caution out. And that car is, looks like an eaten piece of cereal. And that's going to bring the first caution out. Alex Penn comes to pit road, it looks like. 2 cars involved. Oh, Alex just got too close. Oh, my. Just got too close to the right rear. And I don't know if netcode come in or if he actually did touch him. We'll have to. I mean, he's sitting on the right rear, sitting on him, sitting on him, sitting on him. Oh, yeah, he hooked him accidentally. He did apologize, by the way, on the radio for what it's worth. Yeah, I think we had some cars go to pit road to miss that wreck. So caution number 1 on the track. Now, four sets of tires laying in the pits. Will we see the leaders? It appears we will. Should be 4 tires and fuel for pretty much everybody here. Right side's going on. Looks like should be left side for these guys here as they roll out of pit road. And I think it's going to be Finley there with the lead, depending on where they actually use the timing and scoring. Of course, the green cone where you see there, that's actually the where pit road speed ends. Goodpaster, yeah, he'll be back on the lead lap if he's not still on the lead lap. So he'll be back in this race. So pretty good start here to this race, making the first 24 or so laps before we get to our first caution. As I was starting to kind of recap what happened in last season's race, we did end up with 5 cautions in this race. Track temp and everything was pretty identical for the most part. So we'll get one to go this time by. So Justin Ray on pit road and then Van Pelt and Penn all getting damage fixed. As I mentioned, Goodpaster's back on the lead lap. So pretty much everybody that started the race back on the lead lap here. As we'll go back racing this time. As always, I like to go back and look at some things. Mentioned the 5 cautions for 19 laps. 9 lead changes in that race last season. Tyler Burton having a good run there in that 4th position. Zach Rogers up to 5th right now in that 4 car. Oh, look out now. It's all fun and games. We get a Nathan's hot dogs car. Look out. Those are some good dogs there, boys. Pace car exits pit road. Leader can go whenever here because there's no actual restart zone. And Matthew Weeks is all over the place trying to spin them tires. Actually trying to hold on to her. Terrible restart for the 11. And obviously they're going to have to clear some black flags here. I think he thought he were actually in the ARCA car as Bryson up the track, 3 wide down the back. Very easy to do as Van Pelt comes back off pit road. Is spin the tires on a restart. So now Averill going to move up to second. Tyler Burton up to third. Van Pelt also leaving pit road. So both the drivers involved in that wreck getting their damage fixed and getting back out there. You see the different lanes going into the corner here. The different braking points, rolling back to the throttle, so on and so forth, and how just how you enter and how you exit can affect your car. Whoa! Weeks going to get back by Heller for 8th. I peeked over for a second. I looked up and I saw Heller swerving. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know if there was maybe an attempted defensive move there or whatever. Now Heller's going to go back by. Miles going to send it in there in that 1. Of course, you got to be careful here. This is almost like driving a short track over in 3 and 4. Fitzsimmons leading by about 0.3 of a second right now over Averill. Zach Rogers there in third. On a track that I think I've mentioned a couple times, built back in the 90s. Skinner won the only race that NASCAR ever ran here in 1998. Of course, IndyCar has run here a few times. They ran the Oval for a couple years, and then in 2011, which a lot of people should remember this event, there was the earthquake that happened in Japan. And that earthquake, unfortunately, did some damage to the oval track. That season, IndyCar was going to come here to race. However, they had to make a little modification and decided to go run the road course at Twin Ring Motegi. That race, of course, was won by Scott Dixon. And Danica, yes, she did win here. Won the race on fuel mileage. This is supposed to be a... Oh, caution is out. Trouble. Nick Leo has gone around. And Brad Delph, another car involved in a second caution at lap 35. Let's see what took place here. Riding behind the 32 car. Oh, and Brad unfortunately just gets into Leo. And how wide the track is right there. Leo just a simple 360 and kept it off the wall. Very impressive. So we're riding behind Nürnberger there. And I don't think you can, you can't look over it. The fact that how much you break and stuff at this track, you can easily get ran over there in 3 and 4. Nice job by Nick to keep it off the wall. A Code Brown moment and probably a vape moment for him. And we do got some cars on pit road. One of them is Matthew Weeks coming to pit. Oh, no, maybe not. I thought it said he was pitting. Is he? Are we? What in the world? It's got me all thrown off. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now we're live. Good camera work, Scala. There we go. Getting at least fuel. Craig Martin on pit road. Stephen Thompson. Good Pastor. Leo Whittemore. Speaking of Boston, had an opportunity to meet a couple times and talk with former singer for Boston, Fran Cosmo. I think he had a little stint with them or whatever. And he did a lot of performances in Indiana when I lived there. Interesting family. Let's get Finley up here and have a quick word with him as he leads here in this race as we get 2 to green, so we get a moment with him. Finley, got a copy, bud?
Yeah.
All right, man. So leading this race, obviously a little pressure off you now as Matthew tried to buzz the tires there a little bit off turn 4 when you took off. But needless to say, leading some laps here. You led laps in last season's race before falling to Matthew. You feel like you got a car that can do it again tonight?
We definitely have the car for it. Whether I don't bottle it like I did last week, then...
The what? What was that word?
Bottle it.
Boplet.
Bottle.
Bottle it. I'm like, okay, I got you. I was just more trying to learn, obviously the dialect there. And you never know. There's some cool words like the boot and stuff that, I've liked. So, but no, in all seriousness, though. So what do you need to do different, unlike last season and unlike last week, to go to victory lane tonight?
Obviously, last week we had a little bit of bad luck with the caution coming out because we kind of needed the gap. But yeah, from last season we had a great race, but I think I made a mistake hitting the wall at one point and made us lose time. So just making sure we keep it clean and trying to stretch out as much of a gap as I can.
If it comes down to tire wear at the end of this race, do you want track position or fuel goods?
Oh, track position is yeah, but definitely you can't burn the tires up. It's going to be a massive thing because I know a lot of people that burn the tires up on that run, and it'll make a massive difference to the end of the run pace.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job so far. 36 laps in, and we'll talk in victory lane later.
Hopefully. See you later.
Hi, buddy. That is Finley Fitzsimmons leading right now. And I have never seen somebody move to a team channel so quick. He might be the quickest one so far. That was impressive. Like, I don't even think he had said bye and he was gone. I don't know if that means he just doesn't want to hang out with me, which I fully understand. I mean, I'm not that liked of a guy, I guess. I don't know. Finley warming up those tires. Tim Aber will be on his outside. Rogers having a good run up 6 spots to the third after starting 9th. Tyler Burden 4th right now after start 8th. Carrington is back to 5th after starting on the outside pole, but fell back to 9th or 10th or so before finally getting a spot in line. His car will pull off, and we shall go back racing. Brad Delph got the EOL for the contact penalty. And just like that, you see the top 8 or 9 single file first battle. I saw Rogers and almost got a run, but wasn't able to. But let's go back to Hi-Ho Silvers. Haven't said that in a while. Inside of the 400. He's going for the 2 for buy one, get one. Problem is you send it in real deep there. You don't get the run off the corner. Now here comes the 400 to his inside. Miles carrying the momentum top side. And by the way, that is the Ron Hornaday paint scheme, not Dale Jr.'s AC Delco car. But Miles saving the tires a little bit there, falls back to the 12th position. Going to try to cross over that 400 Nissan. As the 32 slides up a little bit, that'll allow Josh Dillon in that 12 car to make a move inside. Pretty much. Of course, those schemes added a little red to it from what Junior had. And I believe Johnny Sauter drove that scheme too, didn't he? So Fitzsimmons out to about a half-second lead right now. Seeing a lot of cars get loose off turn 4. Temp-wise, hasn't really moved at all. Still at 72, ambient 80 degrees track temp-wise. So the track really hasn't changed much. I am noticing a little bit of maybe a haze or a little bit of just kind of maybe a cloud or something coming into the area potentially just from the shadows and stuff. But as Mike Cusby falling back, the Talladega winner back to the 8th, now 9th position. As the points leader makes a move, gets inside. Oh, hold on. Silvers with a tail whip back there. Had to save her. It's going to give the spot to Schlosser. Silver's trying to hold off Stephen Miles back there. You see Josh Dillon. Matthew Weeks has worked his way up to 15th after that restart. We'll have to keep an eye on that 11 car as he tries to battle this track position game now that he's got to fight. Got to be very patient. Easier said than done, but you got to be very patient. Sends her in there. And a good little battle back here is Nick Leo and Kyle Hall battling for position. 19th place battle. That's Hall in the 87 car. Hall running in the 20th position. Good battle there with Leo. He settled down here for a second. Oh, now Kyle's in the wall accidentally. Just getting too wide into the corner there.
Please leave your message.
And now he's got Craig Martin there behind him. And then there's good passenger there, and that's 7. Alex Penn back there's kind of hanging. And Craig Martin's having some connection issues. The internet out here in Japan's not the best. Matthew Weeks continues to move up to the 13th position. There as he passes by Josh Dillon there in the 12. So we watch Barkuski back here. Tyler Burton's falling back to the, or I should say staying in the 4th position. For some reason I thought I was farther back in the field. So much for paying attention. There's Alex Bryson, Casey Carrington, 7th, 8th, 9th, right behind him. Heller there in the 10th position. Or I should say in the 8th position. And then Stephen Miles back here battling with Silver still. And then Weeks is right behind them as he looks inside of the 400 car. So here comes Matthew in that Dodge. A couple Dodges right there with a Nissan. And back here, Carrington under attack from Barkuski. It's a battle for 5th here. Pontiac and Dodge. Alex Bryson's like, I want a piece of this. Ooh, gets a little loose there. That 25 does. Had to watch his bottom here because here comes the 15. Looking at low side here. You can get great momentum, especially off 3 and 4. And you can just see how tough it is to pass. The second groove, it's not really a raceable groove, but it is a defensive groove because it keeps that car that's down on the inside from sliding up. And when you can't slide up the track, you don't get the momentum, you can't make the pass. Right? Right. Hey, big shout out to Whiteriver LLC, by the way, for sponsoring this series that you're watching. Of course, the All-American ARCA series. See every Friday night here on the Captain Esports Network as we got 3 races to go after tonight in this season. Now, as I've talked about, there are 2 different seasons per se for this series. And what I mean by that is there is the half season, if you will, as Barkuski got loose. Bryson gets a run to his top side here. That finishes up here in 3 weeks, and then they'll take a little bit of a break. Barkuski sends it in there deep, slides it up the track. He's going to lose at least 1 spot. Here comes Heller with Bryson. And then Bryson gets loose and looks like catches the outside wall. Boys, you know it's lap 55, right? As I was starting to say, though, the half season will end in 3 weeks. There'll be a break. And then we'll come back and run another 14-race schedule that'll be considered season 6 of the season. But at the same time, the points from the first half will also be kept on a separate point system that will track all 28 races. So there'll be a champion of season 6 and then a champion of the whole entire year. Which, of course, last season was Matthew Weeks. Kind of, if you're one that finds it hard to stay competitive in iRacing because you're like, all right, we're 5 races in, I'm last in points, I've got no chance at this whole thing. that's kind of the point of that second season, is to allow you to reset your points for that particular part. Yeah, you might not win the regular season, but at least you got another season to go catch and potentially be competitive in that one. So it's a cool idea, unique perspective on it. As Miles still continues to battle silvers here. Great fight for the 11th and 12th position. Matthew Weeks has disposed of them both. And Josh Dillon's been trying to follow that 11 car through there, but not been able to. Up front, Tim Abrams been able to keep his distance with Fitzsimmons. As Rogers has fallen back 1.2 seconds. Tyler Burden, 2.5. Carrington's right there in 5th. Miles finally gets to the inside of that 17. And look at James hanging that right rear out. Miles finally gets around Silvers, and I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief. Let's check up here on the leader. There's Finley. I've said that before. I agree 100%. If we could get to Thunderdome, that'd be really cool to see. Yeah, I believe the K&N East or K&N West cars, I think back in the day, ran the Thunderdome. Mike Husby now under attack. Weeks continues to roll through this field as we're 5 laps from the halfway point. Just the 2 cautions so far in this race. As we get closer and closer, could see some pit stops here in the very near future. As I look over, most of the field pitted at lap 25. So let's show 35 to 40 laps on that. And right now 35 would be lap 60. So we're in range that we could see some green flag pit stops here any minute. Of course, there's drivers like Matthew Weeks and those guys that pitted at 35. They'll go a couple extra laps. And so as we get to this point, it's going to get kind of nerve-wracking for those drivers who are trying to keep the track position and go as long as they can on fuel, and then have the others kind of hanging out there. You don't want to lose a lap or two, which I would think would be about a lap here because of how big this track is. Josh Dillon attacking that 1 car for position. And makes the pass. So back here, or up to the front, I should say, Tyler Burden under attack. There's Carrington. There's Alex Bryson. Blair Hoffman, or Blair Holloman, I should say, on pit road, the 10 car. By the way, a pretty sporty throwback in this car. I saw this car on track tonight. I was like, hey, that looks nice. That's a Brendan Gaughan 77 throwback. If you remember the days of the 3rd Penske car, or Travis Quapple, either way. And he is on pit road. Looks like 4 tires and fuel for him. Stephen Miles going to short pit and come to pit road. Last night we let the liquor talk? What? 4 tires and fuel for that number 1 car. Miles 3rd in points entering this race. Having a pretty good rookie season as he pulls away 14.5. Dylan pulled over a little bit there I'm not sure if he got loose or something, but the 17 able to clear easily as Larry Knoll comes to pit road in the 25. I think Mike Husby's going to come to pit road here. Is he going to bring Dylan with him? He is, and by the way, very tight pit road to get onto, I should say. Davis Warren on pit road in the 2 car. This is right at the halfway point. And a couple top 5 cars pitting here as Husby pulls away at a 15-2. And here's Casey Carrington on pit road along with Tyler Bird and Christopher Heller, Silvers, Nurnberger. All of them coming down here. This is lap 66 now. Pace car driver looks forward focused. More tires and fuel for these guys, and they will pull away. Good stops for everyone. 14 8s across the board there, except for Karen Casey. You had to ruin it, didn't you? Everybody with 14 8s, except Casey had to get a 9. There's a lot of people coming down pit road. Fitzsimmons, Averill, the leaders all in here. Pace car driver still not moving. Everybody, 14 8s, and there's a 9. There's a 1. Good stop for Bryson. Matthew Weeks back to the lead. Is Dalton Wilson going to bring his 33 to pit road? Brad Delf, Stephen Thompson in. There's Jackson Van Pelt's, well, looks like a cereal box that fell off a shelf at Walmart. Who is this over here with the Buzz Lightyear Star Command outfit? Anybody else notice this right here to the right? Come on, Buzz. I've got nothing on that one. Come here, Star Command. Here in Tim Averill saying his car is very tight. As Schlosser and Leo come to pit road, Weeks still leading here. Good passer up to second now. Craig Martin third. And there's the Nissan of the 400 car to infinity and beyond. So, obviously joking here. Technically, we have every person in this league right now with an over-the-man too soon penalty. Or over-the-wall too soon penalty. Everybody's legs are through the wall and on pit road. Some of that. Ah, thank you. That's a good stat. And of course, that Richmond 88 race was probably the first one on the new surface at Richmond, the new 3/4 mile track. So Weeks still leads. He'll pit here in about 5 to 10 laps or so. And then he'll give the lead up. Jeffrey Goodpaster pitted at 35. So did Whittemore, Craig Martin, Justin Ray. And then after that, it'll go back to Finley Fitzsimmons. They did 2 trips to Australia. They had the money back then to do that? Then again, 500K, that's 312 miles. So what was the race? Like a 210 lap race? That's kind of short for a race across the seas like that. I mean, I can understand it like Christmas doing it that, but an actual season race that long? So when are these guys coming to pit road? It's a $1 million question. Right now, as I look at it, 18 cars are on the lead lap. 280 laps. That's definitely not 312 miles. That would, matter of fact, be somewhere in the 425 mile range, which is not 500 kilometers. What happened to the old advertised distance back in the day? I think you have his initials, Brandon. As here comes Weeks to pit road. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Twin Ring Motegi. I'm an idiot. You said 281.1. Okay, that might be 312 miles. That makes sense. All right, so Weeks good past her. Whittemore to pit road. Hands the lead to Justin Ray. So the only downfall here for Matthew Weeks is that all these cars had fresher tires for those couple laps. But the positive is that Weeks will now have fresher tires than everyone else. As Ray comes to pit road, brings Craig Martin with him. And that'll cycle everything back around to Finley Fitzsimmons. He has 1.5 seconds over Tim Averill. Casey Carrington will jump to third. Zach Rogers, Stephen Miles, your top five. It's kind of funny. Brandon asked us about the Richmond 2001 race. Now, if anybody hadn't figured out he's a Ricky Rudd fan by now, we'll give that away. But speaking of 2001, as we showed it last week, Tim Averill's got the paint scheme on again this week. The Jeff Gordon Bugs Bunny car. The race that car was ran in. And, of course, Sterling Marlin destroyed it in 40 laps. All right, so let's take you through the field here. 55 laps to go. And show you where everybody is on track. As Finley leads right now by 1.6 seconds. There he is crossing the line. And there's Tim Averill crossing. He runs in the second position, the West Virginia native. Casey Carrington, as I mentioned, is 1.2 back of Tim in the Johnny Benson throwback there in third. And then right behind him is Zach Rogers, having a great run in that 4-car, running fourth. Napa know-how. Christopher Heller has been quiet, been hanging out 5th to 10th, but he right now on the top side of that 5th position as he just got by Stephen Miles, the BetN GM car. And Miles is kind of falling back into a little battle here as he was one of the first ones to pit, so you wonder if the tires are falling off here as he has Tyler Burden to his inside. Wonder if Miles is just plowing tight right now. As Miles going to fall back, you see Mike Husby there in the 7th position, and you see Jackson Van Pelt back on track. So the promising good run there for the 07, unfortunately, has fallen for him, but he is still out there trying to get some laps, get some track position. As actually, he's only got a lap right now on Alex Penn, so he's got to keep going. As you see Bryson there behind Van Pelt, going to make the pass on his teammate here, potentially in a second. James Silver's making one of his one-off starts there in that 17 car as Josh Dillon heads down towards Suzuka to make a pass. It's a battle now for the 11th and 10th and 11th positions here. And Barkuski, who struggled, he's back to 12th now in that 25 cars. He's right here with these two people. And then it's Matthew Weeks. There he is, 13th position now. As he's had to battle with the pit strategy he tried here. And, of course, he had that loose race car a little bit ago. And now sits mid-pack as he continues to try to catch up with the field. He's 16 seconds back, so he has got some work to do if he does not get a yellow to have a chance to win this race and go back-to-back. Blair Holloman in the number 10 car, I believe. I'm going to have to check and see if this is his debut in the league, but he is in the 10 car running in the 14th position, started 28th, so having a solid run. And then Zach Nurnberger, 32 car. Running in the 15th position, looking to have a clean race here tonight. And then Dalton Wilson back here to 33 car. 16th position for Mr. Dalton. And then our one sub driver tonight, Davis Warren. By the way, the same Davis Warren that I gotta confirm this. Is this the same Davis that subbed for? Okay, Carrington got passed by Rogers. I heard him say a word you're not supposed to say on the air. Thankfully, it didn't go over the air, but I was like, wait, what happened to Casey? Let me check. And by the way, this is Blair's second start. I do have him down for a race. So good to see Blair come back for another race. Give me a second here and I'll be able to get you this number. I'm looking for... I guess I can do alphabetical order, couldn't I? Okay, no, it was not Davis. So who? It was Zach Henry that filled in for the 25 car. I had to think about that for a second. So for Davis, it's actually his 19th career start in the race here tonight as he fills in for Cody McCorkle there in the 18th position. And you see Brad Delph go by him. Nick Leo running 19th right now in that 69 car after the little spin around he had, the little whoops at AZ360. The Michael McDowell, if you will. Runs 19th. And then Jeffrey Goodpaster back here in the 7 car. Jeffrey runs in the 20th position. And Matt Schlosser, who was running up in the top 15 earlier, is falling back to 21st here. So the 400, the Nissan. Wonder if he's racing the Nissan 250X. I believe is what the car was back in the day. It's a cool car. Every time I see one, I text my buddy in Florida, who, by the way, celebrating a birthday tonight. I'm like, hey, here's your car. Here's, speaking of Florida, Kyle Hall running in the 22nd position in the 87 car. The Florida native there. And then Steven Thompson, the 24 car. 23rd for him. He's still on the lead lap in that Jeff Gordon Pony Express ride. The only thing Steven's missing, if he's listening on the stream, he'll hear this, I hope. The only thing he's missing is a black outline on those flames. It'd look really cool. And it would kind of match that paint scheme. Justin Ray, the 38 car, running the Dale Earnhardt 30, the gray and black, or the gray, wow. The golden black car, I believe that is. Running in 24th. Greg Martin is struggling tonight. The bus is out for him. 25th for the 22 car. Tyler Whittemore in the Chase Briscoe special. Unfortunately, a lap down now as you see Carrington's gone by him. running 26th. Larry Knoll, good to see him back on track in the Spider-Man Dodge car. Speaking of Dodges, he's got the 19 right there behind him. And Josh Dillon on pit road here. Not sure what this is about. And it's because Josh actually had issues on the track. What happened to the Dodge here of Dillon? Turn 4 bites somebody again. Oh, yeah, back end. Oh, boy. Ouch. Did not get the caution. He got off track quick. Very impressive of him to pull that off. So, with all that happening, Tim Abrams' car is, falling off the map, unfortunately. It's 4 seconds back now, and he has got somebody on his tail now looking to take that second position, and that being Zach Rogers. Somebody's running third gear through 3 and 4. I don't know if anybody heard the audio there, but I heard that louder pitch. Let's see if we can get that camera angle again. Listen closely here. Hear that higher? You know what it is? I bet it's Zach Rogers. Let's go on board with the 4 car here. I mean, you won't be able to see him shift. The 1 and 2, he should stay in 4th. And I was wondering if somebody would do this. So there you go. There's your shifter right there. With 39 laps to go next week, Pocono Raceway. Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Triangle. I got nothing. Stephen Thompson coming to pit road there. As Rogers is trying to get some clean air in that nose to try to get the run on April here. Carrington 7 seconds back. So a couple battles to keep an eye on. We got this one here. Let's go back here to 17th. As Jeffrey Goodpaster trying to get around the 69 car of Nicolio. A couple good battles here as Bryson tries to get around Christopher Heller. There's this battle here for 5th. So some great racing here at Twin Ring Motegi tonight. By the way, if you're watching the stream tonight and you're new, hit that subscribe button. We are only, 17, 18 subscribers away from 900. Getting closer to 1,000. At this rate, we'll be at 1,000 sometime before my daughter graduates high school. Now is where I break the news to you that my daughter's only 4 years old. If you know anybody who loves watching sim racing or even maybe has a business out there or something that wants to be a part of the stream, let me put this out here right now. I'm not looking for money or anything, but I'm all about partnerships and stuff. So I'm all about helping gain viewers and helping people grow their business. If you want to send them my contact or whatever to reach out to them, let me know. Like I said, I do this for viewers. I do this for the racers. I do this for the leagues. And I mean, we got a platform right here that can advertise business to all over, not only the United States, but the world. Kyle Hall's coming to pit road. Steven Thompson is pitted. As we've entered the window, you can easily get to the final run to the finish here. As Mike Husby's going to come to pit road. So here's the first of those up towards the front. The number 19 Dodge. And trouble on the front stretch. Caution. Nick Leo has wrecked over on the front straightaway as Mike Husby's on pit road. And is going to go a lap down, I think. Ooh, the short pitting adventures. They can be good, but they can also bite you. What happened to the old 6-9er here? He's had a good battle, a good pass there to get loose. He got too high there, probably too much wheel. Oh, and he tried to save it, but then the 7 was there, unfortunately. Kind of finished him off, so to say. Absolute incidental contact there. Yeah, he was trying to hold on to her. And unfortunately, he just kind of ran into the side of the 7 car. And leaders are on pit road. This could be the money stop here. And with these, it'll be Fitzsimmons winning the race off pit road. Great stop for the 11 crew there. He's going to jump up to 6th. And Casey Carrington with a terrible stop. And guess what that is, boys? That is a bingo card spot. Right here. Right here. Casey has a mishap during the pit stop. That one's covered. Of course, a few of these will never get finished. There's a lot more dots than there should be now. All right, so let's talk to the driver up here in the second position, that being Zach Rogers here. Let me mute chat really quickly here, Zach, before something gets said over the chat. Because I have all of it all connected to one channel, so let's get that all squared away. But Zach, obviously a great run for you so far here. P2 had a great battle with Casey, but now you have a shot here to potentially go to victory lane.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'll have for Finzo. He's been pretty on it all night. He's pretty good at these types of tracks, and even Tim on even tires with me, it'll be interesting. But hopefully, it's a good show at least for y'all.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great show. And the very interesting part here is it sits here a little after 1:30 sim time. We went green at 12:30, so it's been a whole entire hour. Track temp has moved all of 1 degree. Have you felt the track change at all or anything like that?
I don't think so. It's been pretty slick the whole way. I haven't really felt it grip up or cool down or any. It's been pretty single groove, like most tracks have been in this car. But it's been fun. It's been a fun package. It's very racy. Not too hard to pass guys, except the good guys up here up at the front. But yeah, it's been fun. Can't complain.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're getting ready to go back green here. Now, if I can remember, I remember where you were. See if you can end up in victory lane coming up in 30 laps.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Zach Rogers, P2, as he's hanging out in that channel. Let me bring Joe up here real quick. Hopefully he's not saying any bad words. Hey, Joe, did you get that bingo spot covered, by the way?
Perhaps.
The one for Casey, bad pit stop?
Oh, yeah.
That's
we'll
one
see
we
if
haven't had yet, I don't think, in a while.
I don't think so either. I wish that caution had come out. That was looking pretty good on the green, but...
Hey, we got to have a little drama. Come on.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, bud. Have fun.
All right, no problem. I'll do my best.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I don't care what your brother says about you.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, buddy. You too. Joseph Penn there in the admin booth. All right, coming to the green flag with the 06 leading. And now I will say this is an older camera package, by the way, from our good friends at TrackCams22.com. TrackCams22.com, if I can speak. We do have a little bit of a turn it up, so let's do it. Presented by presented by FrenchStretch.com. Trouble on the track has brought the caution out. So let's slow her back down. Jackson Van Pelt, front straightaway, has brought caution out for the 4th time. We'll come back to the turn it up segment. And Lucky Charms not having a good night. Little 3 wide action. It looks like the 400 had some issues entering the corner, and Jackson sticks his nose in there, and well, he net coated into the wall by the 23. Oh, look out for the 24. Maybe could have not done that, but hey, you're racing. Nothing you can do. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to 400 there. Just a little checkup. No, and Tyler gets loose on the top side there. So 27 laps to go, 4th caution out. All right, so as we get closer to the end of this race, let's throw up here the point standings, an update of where we are. This is, of course, going into this race. We don't have the technology to say, oh, as they run right now. But Christopher Heller leads by 26 over Barkuski. Right now, Heller runs 6. Barkuski is 9th, so it's not much difference in points there. Stephen Miles running in the 10th position, so he's right there too. So points are... So Heller is actually gaining a little bit, but not too much. Matthew Weeks, who runs in the now... Where's Weeks at? 5th. So he'll gain a little bit right now as we're going. Mike Husby's right there, but Heller doing a great job just being consistent. And how are you consistent? Well, look at those numbers over there. I mean, look at the stats. 10 starts for Heller entering tonight. 8 top 10s. Looking to go 9 for 11. That's how you do it. Consistency. Completing the most laps out of pretty much everybody out of the group. I don't know if that's every lap, but that's pretty close to it. He and Tim Averill have run 1,257 laps. A lot of good stuff there. Bonus points. All that plays a role here. So, and big shout out to SimRacerHub.com. That's where all this stuff is found. If you have a league on iRacing or run in a league, I would suggest use that. And you can even put that in there to use as like personal stats for yourself. I think Casey's actually done some stuff himself. Him and I were talking that it actually keeps track of his rating of like his best races or whatever and stuff like that. So there's a pretty cool little website that's actually been updated a lot here lately. So I'm going to break some news on this chat. I was wondering when I was going to do it, but I'm going to break the news here. Right here, in front of everybody. Well, 12 of you, if not more. The trends of the... Blair, you're racing. You're not supposed to be doing that. That's awesome right there. Blair Holloman, did I not tell you guys that there's a percentage each week of the race that people are watching while they race? While we're under caution. Well, the trends of the race here, Mike. Basically, news I'm going to break to you guys. Next week at Darlington, in the Cup cars, the obviously NIS and stuff like that, the captain plans to race in NIS next week at Darlington. Why? It's one of my favorite tracks. It actually is my favorite track. I love Darlington. So, I'm going to throw the old race suit back on in my 4D shoes and go racing. Put the wheel back on. So, looking forward to that. Thought about running Dover this weekend, but I'm not sure I might have time to. I like Dover, too. So, for those who are like, man, does this guy ever race anymore? Which I haven't raced in a month. Taking a little break, calming down, woosah, picking my own races to go run. Here we are. All right, going to come to the green flag from the 4th caution. Here's your trend here. This is for you, Blair. If we want to match last year's total in cautions, we have one more left. There's your trend. All right, so we're going to try it again here as we come to the green flag. I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy the sounds of the Gen 4 car as we turn it up thanks to our good friends at frontstretch.com. Well, I got to take a deep breath. Caution's back out. Brad Delph has gone around. And apparently we're not going to turn it up tonight. We're not allowed. But hey, big thanks to our good friends at frontstretch.com. Also my partner in my job that I work for. As, of course, each and every Saturday, cover news for frontstretch.com. As you know, today there really wasn't much news at all because, well, it rained in Dover all day. So practice canceled for the Xfinity race tomorrow, and qualifying was. The K&N race was canceled until tomorrow at 4:30. Let's see what else is going on. Of course, got coverage of the Alex Bowman vertebrae issue, Josh Berry running, and apparently something on Twitter today potentially with Berry and a ride full-time in Cup next season. Interesting there. Of course, that started rumors amongst his Dale Jr. got a charter finally. That could be interesting. But a lot of good things to talk about. You can see on our website, Friday Face Off. I had a article in there that we talked a little bit about. Basically, what we do in Friday Face Off is a bunch of us talk a little bit about a question and kind of discuss it. And one of the questions, and I'll bring it up to you guys in here, is Dover. Of course, there's been a lot of criticism towards the racing there and that kind of thing. Do you see Dover being on the schedule in 5 years? And I'll add a little mix to the question. If you can make one change to Dover, what would it be? That was, of course, something talked about, so you can check that out over at frontstretch.com. And yes, I did have some features in that article, myself, my own opinions and things like that, and I'll share my opinion on that coming up here in a minute. But I want to see what you guys have to say about that particular question. But make sure you check out the website, the podcast, Rusty Wallace on the podcast this week, and so much more. Great stuff at frontstretch.com. You can get great videos and all types of stuff on YouTube and more. So they sponsor our Turn It Up segment, and I'm glad to be a news guy on the channel on Saturdays. Kyle Hall getting the wave around. Stephen Miles has come to pit road. Blair Holloman, Matt Schlosser, Dalton Wilson, Nick Leo. So a couple of the TI cars on pit road and others. Maybe taking tires, as Matthew Weeks just pulled a Hank Hill. And there's only one guy who can do a Hank Hill in here. All right, so Dover. 1 mile track, 24 degrees of banking. So the racing's been criticized there recently because obviously with it concrete, fast speeds, can be more of a single groove track till the tires wear out and all this different stuff. So what is the one thing that we could do to the track? And I think there's one simple trick to it that I would like to see done to the track. And if it's done, could produce really good racing on it. And I use Kansas, Homestead, Iowa could be an example. Let's see what other tracks are like this. See, I mentioned Kansas, Las Vegas, another one on there. But what do all four of those tracks have in common? Progressive banking. I feel that if you were to put progressive banking on Dover Motor Speedway, go from 20 to 24 degrees of banking, you will produce the side-by-side racing that Dover can do and have fantastic racing on that track with the speeds they have. My opinion. But I talk about that in that article, by the way. $19 laps to go. We're coming to the green next time by. Let me look down here in some channels. He is hanging out now. Let's have a little fun here for a second. This is all about fun. So I'm going to bring Josh Dillon up here into the booth with me. As Josh is unfortunately out of the race, and Casey's probably down there in chat right now wondering, how in the world is Josh Dillon on the stream right now doing an interview? Well, Josh, while we're under caution here a few times, let's have a little fun because, first off, hi.
How's it going?
Okay, that was my way to make sure you're there and I'm not talking to myself. So there's been some interesting topics in the last couple of cautions that we've had chances to talk about. And I overheard somebody just now say they won a CrossFit championship.
They have championships for that?
Right?
That's a thing. Okay.
Well, CrossFit's a thing, and it hurts. I did it once. My body's still in pain from it. And that was like 10 years ago. So what happened over there in turn 4?
Extremely difficult passing and just hard racing. Stuck in kind of a group of guys who hitting the wall and then blocking and dive bombing. It wasn't a good time, and I just got loose. All my fault, though.
Mistakes happen. So the racing out there, obviously very tricky with this car. You mentioned the tough to pass and stuff. Still fun or not so much?
It depended on who you were around. It was a good time, but from the get-go, everybody was aggressive, and I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me being that aggressive that early, but it's just how some people race.
Is it also a factor that it is, one, tough to pass and trying to get track position so people feel like they have to be aggressive as we go back green?
Maybe. I mean, it's so hard to pass, especially running up high, because it just gets loose.
Right. Interesting. All right, well, I just wanted to come in and have a fun conversation as we go back green here, so I'll let you go back and do whatever you're doing there and tell Casey to stop screwing up on pit road because he just covered another bingo spot.
I'll do it. I'm going to watch it finish here.
All right, have fun, buddy. As Josh Dillon, appreciate his time, even though he's already behind the wall, probably drinking a Japanese cola, which, by the way, tastes like orange soda, in case you did not know. Random fact. If you don't believe me, go to Epcot. They have it there. Larry Knoll with some issues off track, unfortunately. Larry, 25th, and he's over playing in the yard right now. Gets his car back straight and continues on. So Fitzsimmons out in the 0.2 of a second, and Rogers and Weeks now battling for third. Track temp down to 78 degrees, so. And look at the field coming back together. Rogers a little bit of run. Here comes Weeks with a little bit of a run. Field kind of grouped up here. Alex Bryson trying to get into this battle a little bit. There's Heller sleeping a little bit. Barkuski could come back up to the 7th spot. Doesn't take much on a wide track like this. You get loose, and these cars can get a good run on you. You heard Josh just talk about how tough it is to pass out there. And I would say it could be easy to root somebody out of the way. Well, with these cars, you root somebody out of the way, you're going to send them packing to the Great Wall of China. And we're in Japan. As Bryson gets to the outside of Weeks here. Oh, Bryson getting tail happy. That's going to give the spot to Heller. See if Heller gets down there across his nose. He does. Can Finley finish off the job and get win number 2 of his career? Of course, win number 1 came at the Texas Motor Speedway last season. Finley's been here a while. He's often criticized for sometimes having brake issues, if you will, as Bryson gets back under Heller, gets loose. But he's always up there towards the front, does a great job being consistent. As Barkuski with a dive in there, as the caution comes back out, Justin Ray has spun over in turn 2. And now Dalton Wilson is also involved, it looks like, also. So 6 caution here. Could we see some tire strategy here potentially come into play? I don't think so, but hey, you never know. See what happens to the 33 and the 38. Oh, Justin gets loose tail whips. Nice miss by the 10. And then, unfortunately, collects Dalton Wilson, who gets the inside wall. Watch this in slow-mo. But another hospital hop. Car's almost in yaw right there already from the bumps. Ooh, we got some cars coming in. Watch this. No, oh, 10 did get hit a little bit there. Right front, you saw it crinkle. Oh, and it popped back out. Oh, he's got a plunge over there in the right rear or right front. That was a terrible plunge noise. All right, let's cut here because Matthew Weeks is on pit road. And not many people came with him. Whoa. Davis Warren, Nick Leo, all on pit road. Matthew Weeks might be regretting this move. Matthew, unfortunately, has not had the season he's wanted. Backing up that championship season in season 4, plus the regular season title in 2022. And has not yet gone to victory lane yet in this race or in the season. As Matthew just came over the audio and said, well, blink. I thought more would have pitted. I might have a stat for everybody real quickly. You want some kind of trends I've been requested to say. So let me look at the schedule here really quickly. Let me see here. 1, 2. That's season 4, not 5 Scala. 1, 2. 3. All right, here you go. Here's a stat for you. Three races out of the 10 this season have ended in overtime. There you go. There's a stat for you. 3 out of 10, 30% have ended in All-American ARCA extra laps. The last one was actually back at Texas in March. About a month ago. Daytona Auto Club in Texas. So 22 cars on the lead lap as we'll go back to green this time by. So we'll have 8 laps to go when we get the green flag. Finley Fitzsimmons has been pretty dominant. He and Tim Abril, well, Abrils ran second, but Matthew Weeks been the big leaders in the race so far tonight, just like they did last season. But Tim Abril's been up there running top 3 the whole entire time. Zach Rogers has worked his way up there. Bryson's done a good job. Barkuski, a good comeback. Heller's been quiet, but right there in the top 10 all night. Tyler Burden's done a great job running 4th to 7th throughout the night there in a 36 car. See if he can finish it off. Casey Carrington had a bad pit stop. Cover that bingo spot up. Runs 8th. James Silvers, Mike Husby right there on the edge of the top 10. So unfortunately, the bet is made now. And we'll have to keep track of Matthew Weeks and see what kind of spots he can gain. He's going to restart in a 20th position with 4 tires. Do not spin the tires here. As we know, you spin the tires, you go to the right normally. Finley on it. Good restart for him. Oh, 4 wide into 1. Leaning on each other. They got plenty of room, by the way. Miles, Silvers, Nerdburger's in there, and then there's the 400 of Schlosser. Craig Martin's trying to warp his way through. I'm kidding on that one. There's the 7 of Goodpaster. Oh, contact! And here comes Weeks with his feel goods. Ooh, Miles getting a little loose. The Brandon Alphen way, ladies and gentlemen. Fitzsimmons out to a half-second lead. Already started stretching on Abril. These corners, though, especially 1 and 2, are so long as Barkuski scrapes the wall up a little bit. Now, you can easily make a mistake. It's almost warranted. As Carrington sends it in there, Barkuski gets a little loose, slides up. Just kind of keep an eye on those with new tires. Schlosser's up to the top 10 with those newer tires. Miles up to 12th right now is Weeks. I say newer because Weeks actually is the newest tires, pitting at 119. He's up to 12th right now after restarting 20th, so he's gained 8. Don't want to make a mistake here. Three laps to go. All these cars dancing off the corner. Up here for third, Alex Bryson making a move inside of Zach Rogers. He got him. Finley Fitzsimmons hoping to get back to the white flag here. And there it is. Waves, white flag, final lap from Japan. Finley Fitzsimmons down the back straightaway, got about a second on Abrils, under attack from his teammate. As he brings it off turn 3 and 4, after a win at Texas in Season 4, gets him in victory lane tonight. His second career win, Finley Fitzsimmons on the board in Season 5. And for Finley, becomes the 5th different winner in a row in the series. And the 7th winner in 11 races, I believe, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sorry, 8th, 9th winner in 11 races. We'll let the ticker slide across the top there as not that Japan gets enough smog in the world. So Finley bounces back after a second place finish in season 4. Goes to victory lane. He's having way too much fun with the motor. It's about to literally blow here at any minute, if it didn't already. Silver's out there celebrating. You saw Alex Penn. The Penn. I hope these guys know these cars are not. I was going. That's not happening. All right, this is just wrong. Can we find a room, please? Thank you. What Finley needs to do is put the car in neutral. There you go. Up. We're getting there. This is why they say the bump drafting doesn't work in this car. Case in point. Well done, Josh. Well done. So Finley's getting pushed literally to victory lane, or whatever you want to call it. That's one way of doing it. Hey, they're doing pretty good at this. It's like they've done it before. Let's talk to our drivers while they... whatever. As we get Alex down here to talk with us here tonight. Alex, great race, man. Great move there at the end on Zach, and a nice battle for you as you started back in the 7th position, and a top 5 run for you in that 15 car tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate it. Yeah, just felt good all race, felt good coming in. Did a little more extra practicing than what I normally do. Yeah, great battle there with Zach towards the end. Just great battles all around today. I mean, I was just around really good cars I've never been around before because I've obviously never been up front a lot in this league. But great competition up front, and like to be up here a little bit more often.
And nothing wrong with that. And obviously had some restarts there at the end, but very tough to pass. How were you able to make it work for your end?
I entered a little more shallow, which kind of gets me off the gas a little bit more, helps me rotate and kind of drive off there. Restart's definitely sketchy. That's probably the best way to put it in my opinion. Second gear, I mean, when you get it up towards 8,000-9,000 RPM, these things just want to turn right. So, you know, it's just a battle with throttle control on your right foot, and, you know, just try to use my big SpongeBob toe the best I can. And, you know, it's stuck there at the end on those restarts, and, you know, just lucky to be up here.
Well, obviously it was a great effort there and getting some momentum. How much, let's talk about the season, because your first season in this league, how much have you learned and been able to take away to help you develop a little bit?
Oh my God, I can't even begin to tell you, Captain, how much I've learned just from not only being in this car, because of course I race this car in another league, but it's amazing how much you can actually absorb from watching other people, you know, their lines, their braking points. I mean, obviously not their steering ratios and brake ratios and stuff like that, but just I like to absorb stuff like that. I feel like a student when I come to the racetrack, and you know, I'm up here running with Matthew Weeks and you know Finley Fitzsimmons and you know Stephen Miles and stuff like that. So it's and Casey Carrington. So I just try to absorb as much muscle memory as I can with these guys. So it's to me it's important. But yeah, like I said, I can't tell you how much I absorbed through all this.
Well, great job tonight, and send some shout outs.
I'm gonna thank Asheville Rooftop Bar Tours. Gotta thank iRacing. I gotta thank Chris Scala in the CEN car. I want to thank my wife and kids, especially my wife, to let me take the time out of our busy lives to do this. Gotta thank my dad. I gotta thank my wife's grandmother, and I actually gotta thank my mom. Today's her birthday. She would have been 55 years old today. So throughout the race, just trying to, you know, say, come on, mama, one more. You know, one more, and you know, so shout out to her. Miss her, been missing her for what 4 years now. So, but yeah, big shout out to mom. I wish she was here watching this, but I know she's watching. So, but gotta thank my teammates, Tim Averill, Dalton Wilson, especially Steve Miles. That guy, he should be a teacher when it comes to iRacing. And I gotta thank Chris Lewis.
There you go. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and I was just looking at something. Nice job, and we'll see you next week in Pocono.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Alex Bryson, top 5, top 3 finish for him. Good job on his end. He had a teammate there in the second position tonight, and that being Tim Averill, who had a great run getting a top 5 finish. Now, Tim, I know finishing second's not the coolest thing in the world, but still to be able to go out here with these guys tonight and have a top 5 run and be consistent all night, it's got to be promising.
Definitely in this league with how good these guys are. I know running second sucks, and you know I got a habit of doing that.
Yeah,
but I'm happy with I'm happy with tonight. You know, say worked out.
Yeah, talk about the racing a little bit there. Obviously, you ran up front, and with Weeks getting loose on that restart there, spinning the tires, it kind of opened the door for you to be filled up in that second position. What was missing between you and Finley? Was it just track position, or was he just that much better?
Well, I was talking to him about that. I think so. We were pretty similar in 1 and 2. Entering 3, I was a little faster than he was. However, on the exit of 4, he could hug that wall, that outside wall, a little better on the track out than I could. I mean, he nicked it probably 10, 15 times, at least on my screen. Didn't hit hard, just a little nick. But I'll say that really was different. He was able to get the little extra speed off of the front stretch, which would extend that. Anything I closed in 3, he'd gain back out of 4.
Well, definitely, you did a good job tonight and finishing second. And talk about. I asked Alex this question, so I'll ask you the same thing here. What have you been able to take away from running this series to help you develop? Being is this your first time in this series?
I'll say definitely just running with the more competitive drivers. All these guys got some pretty high ratings. A lot of them over 4,000, even some over 5,000. So it's been nice running with some really tough competition. These guys make you work for it. So really have to push the car to the extra limits just to see how you can get better. Definitely makes you better overall.
Well, great job tonight. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
I just want to give a shout out to you, Chris Scala, and the Captain Esports Network, the best iRacing broadcaster on YouTube and all the other social media platforms. I want to also give a shout out to Asheville Rooftops out in North Carolina. Say both of you guys sponsoring us for this season. We really appreciate it. TA3 Designs for painting all of our cars up. TI Racing and Chris Lewis for letting me race on his team, putting his team together. I want to give a shout out to my wife for letting me actually race a couple of these leagues every week, taking time out of our day. And just want to give a shout out to everybody who was watching tonight. So Dad, Buddy Cook, Meyer, Locke, Loera, Holsty Boo, and then the other family and friends from the military and Rubbermaid who tuned in, and then the good Lord above for another day in paradise.
There you go. Well, great job tonight, man. And congratulations on your top 2.
Yep, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. As Tim Averill finishes in the second position. And obviously pretty happy about that. But the man of the hour, once again, as they always say, the first one's the hardest one to get. And he comes out here and just whoops the field tonight and gets his second career win. in the series. Welcome, Finley Fitzsimmons. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I was definitely thinking in the back of my head for ages, how could I possibly bottle this race? Because
Yeah.
I always seem to find a way, but yeah, I guess luck was on our side today.
A lot of people seem to think it's me that causes issues for these guys. Can you finally put this to bed for those who criticize me for jinxing people?
Finally, yeah. And I
Finally,
thought
wait a
as soon
minute
as
here.
you pulled me up- I
Nah.
thought as soon as you pulled me up during the caution, I was thinking, right, on this restart, it's not gonna happen, but, no, once it didn't.
So the one thing Tim brought up when I talked to him, and he said he brought it up to you there when you guys were chatting in the waiting room there, was how you come off turn 4. He felt was like the biggest difference in the race. Talk a little bit about that and how you were able to approach that slow corner, because obviously that's the tighter end of the 4 corners.
Yeah. On turn 4, I think I'm being a bit more patient on the power, and I'm just hugging that line and getting on the power nice and smooth. And if you don't kick up the rear end, it's quite easy to judge how you're going to meet the wall. And yeah, I think I was able to get a bit closer than Tim was on multiple occasions.
Well, it definitely worked out, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shout out to whoever you like to.
Oh yeah, thank you for Alex. The team, of course, Porsche Pensport, second win of the team. Thanks to Casey as well for putting on a great league as well, and Carl and everyone else for helping out, and you as well, Chris, for putting on a great broadcast as always.
Absolutely. Side note, are you soon going to be charging Penn for being the one that has to carry them?
maybe we'll have to see.
Well, hey, man, great job.
Idea.
Absolutely. Well, great job tonight. As I pull up the points up here on the screen, unfortunately, you've had your struggles, but you did gain 5 positions up to the 12th position in points. So that's promising. Maybe get a top 10 in points to leave with.
Yeah, that's something. But yeah, the championship wasn't really my thing this season. I just going race by race and just having the most amount of fun. Maybe next season we could put up more of a fight for the end title, but yeah, for now we're just trying to have as much fun as possible, really.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. Second career win, 2 on mile and a halfs, and your first one in Japan.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
All right, buddy. Good job. Finley Fitzsimmons, the winner tonight here in Japan. As you see the point standings up there, Christopher Heller holds on, 28-point lead, so it barely changed up there in the top of the standings. Miles right there, 58 back. Is going to need a little help here, I think, as we go on to get a chance in there. Weeks, 4th in points. You see the top 5 did not change one bit. Abril up 1 to 6th. Carrington moves up 3 to 8th. And then with the McCorkle situation there, of course, he wasn't in the race tonight, but he gets half points, I believe, of what was scored by Davis Warren. Mark Whitley, unfortunately, wasn't here tonight, so he'll take a tumble. Fitzsimmons up 5. As mentioned, Bryson moves up 4. Rogers moves up 3. So starting to see some of the guys who are going to be competing for this championship, not only in Season 5, but throughout the rest of the season as we go into the rest of 2023. So great racing tonight from everybody. Here in Japan, we did see 6 cautions, but we did get to see multiple green flag runs, which was cool. So definitely was a lot of fun to be a part of. All right, as we get ready to rock and roll, a reminder that your next race for this series is next Friday night, Cinco de Mayo in Pennsylvania. I don't know how that connects with each other, but we're going to try to find a way to make it connect with each other. Japan, or we go from Japan to Pocono and Cinco de Mayo. So let's enjoy an adult beverage and go to a triangle, I guess, when it's over with. So looking forward to seeing the broadcast coming up there for that. Big shout out to the Whiteriver LLC. That's Pocono de Mayo. I like it. I don't know if that makes sense because that's Pocono the May, but hey. Yeah, thanks to Whiteriver LLC for sponsoring the series, of course, this season. Shout out to Casey and Kyle and even Joe, who's up there as the admin in the booth. Does a great job there taking care of the drivers and making the calls and things like that. Big shout out to the racers for a good show as we head out to Pocono, as mentioned, next Friday night. Well, hang on. Well, Casey, we clarified this, by the way, earlier. That is a bingo spot, by the way. Right there in the bottom of the 3rd row. Casey has a mishap during a pit stop. Covered. Good job. Yeah, another spot. All right, we're out. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence. It's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring. To feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.